Hello, Americans. Stand by for news.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Pazzi. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Spanning the globe to bring you the latest in classic rock news and comment. It's the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update with your host, Jeremy Lunnan.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Actually, it's almost afternoon where I am, but it could be no telling what time it is wherever you are. We have an international audience. We have an international footprint, we like to say. I don't know what that means. It's just what people say. I do have some news. Something happened over the weekend as far as the further expansion of the Classic Guitar Rock empire. Our website is back up. It's not fancy, but it is functional. And remember, form follows function. I learned that in the class. ClassicGuitarRock.com. ClassicGuitarRock.com. You go there, and right there's two buttons. One button says CGR Podcast. One button says CGR Radio. So whichever you want to imbibe, you click on that button and it takes you right there. Okay. No long URL. No. So just remember and bookmark, hear me now and believe me later, bookmark ClassicGuitarRock.com. That's all you need. I mean, it could be your most important website right after Amazon. I don't know. I hope so. I hope you click on it often, but it's a central location. It's a landing page. It's a place that you can just go to that. It's a one-stop shop is what it is. It gets you everything to Classic Guitar Rock related. And of course you can email us right from there, or you can always just do it the old fashioned way and send it to classicguitarrock@mail.com. That'll get, it all comes to the same place. So you can do it that way. I have several emails I'm going to share today, in fact. So let's jump right in, shall we? Disney appears to be teasing an announcement relating to the Beatles. On their social media pages, they've posted a graphic with 4 white boxes in the same shape as the original Let It Be album with the caption, "There will be an answer, ... At last." Then it says "at last" in the bottom right corner. The Beatles Apple logo can be seen. Now, we don't know exactly sure what this means, but remember back in 2022, Peter Jackson did the Beatles Get Back series and it was awesome. I mean, just how great the videos looked and how great it was phenomenal. So I'm hoping it's an extension of that. And here's the thing, back in 2022, right after this had happened, the Get Back thing was released. Peter Jackson said, "I'm talking to the Beatles about another project, something very, very different than Get Back. We're seeing what the possibilities are, but it's another project with them. It's not really a documentary." And that's all I can really say. Very interesting. If it's like Get Back, I'm all in. It's Disney Plus. And I see what they've done to Star Wars, so I'm a little worried. But if the Beatles Get Back is any indication, I'll sign up. Okay, I'll sign back up for Disney. I canceled it because they just made me mad ruining Star Wars. But it might be worth signing up again if it's going to be that good. Billy Joel fans are mad. I don't know if this affected everyone or just folks on the East Coast. I'm not sure. Maybe if I read this, I'll find out. So last night they aired Billy Joel's 100th Madison Square Garden residency show. It was on CBS last night. Well, because of golf, Was it the Masters going on yesterday? Yeah, I think it was because of the Masters tournament that ran long. The broadcast of the concert started a few minutes late. So they cut it. They didn't play it in its entirety. They cut it short about 3 minutes so they could start the local newscast. Oh, and by the way, he just happened to be playing Piano Man when it just cut. It's like that NFL championship game back in the late 50s, early 60s, where they cut the end of the game to go to Heidi, to show the movie Heidi. Oh yeah, people were upset. Same type of scenario here. So they just lopped off the tail end of the Billy Joel show and people were upset. Understandably so. It happens, right? It happens. Speaking of people being upset. So this Coachella thing. Coachella is a big concert every year where people pay a bunch of money to go watch people play their laptops, right? So one band that wasn't playing a laptop was Blur, and they bombed. And the lead singer, Damon Albarn, blasted the crowd for being lame. So it's a difficult situation, okay? The crowd's there expecting to see people playing their laptop. Hey, I paid $500 to see a guy play with his laptop, and here you guys are up playing actual music. What's that all about? So do you blame the crowd? Do you blame Damon for getting mad at the crowd because they bombed? It's a complicated thing, but the safe bet is never go to Coachella and never pay to see someone play their laptop. Easy fix. Okay, let's move right along. James, back to the real music here. James J.Y. Young of Styx isn't banking on his band being included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know where this is going to go. You know where this is going to go. I can't miss an opportunity to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Dung. I can't. Styx, let's recap, shall we? Styx has been eligible to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame since 1998. 1998. What's that, 24 years, something like that? So for 24 years, they've been eligible, and they're not in there. It's all you need to know about the stupidity of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyways, he doesn't care. He says, well, it's a very East Coast centric, or let me start all over. Well, it's very East Coast centric in terms of the people that have a vote. And Styx probably deserves to be in there, but I'm not holding my breath. Our type of music and the audience that basically love our music and buy millions of our records don't have a vote. There's 30 or 40 people that decide who's going in, not 30,000 and 40,000 voting. And I won't mention names. That might guarantee we never get in. But I don't honestly, then he kind of changes direction. He says, will I have a smile on my face when I go to my grave if I haven't made it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Sure, he said. We've played in front of audiences and people have said so many wonderful things about JY, your music has changed my life. Your music saved my life. It got me through the most difficult times when my girlfriend or my mother passed away and I was listening to your music. That helped get me through my most difficult time. And so that could be more significant than another human being saying that. And so what could be more significant than another human being saying that you've saved my life? You made my life better. So he's philosophical about it. He's like, if we get in, great, but I'm not holding my breath. And then if we don't, that's fine too. There's a lot of great bands that aren't in there that should be. So he's got a healthy opinion about the whole thing. But like I said, I name my list all the time. Foreigner finally looks like they're going to make it in. Ridiculous that it took this long. They've been eligible for probably about as long as Styx, maybe not quite as long. But Foreigner's finally going in. Styx, Boston, Kansas, Bad Company, REO Speed. I mean, there's a number of classic bands that definitely have the sales, that definitely had the fan base, that definitely had the fame that are not in the hall. And it's a complete joke. Tenacious D. Are you a fan of the Tenacious D? I love Tenacious D. Jack Black and Kyle Gass, of course, make up Tenacious D. They have a 30-song cover album in their vault. So they've made a cover album of 30 songs, but we're unlikely to ever see it because it will probably never be released. Kyle Gass, who's also in Elf, by the way. If you watch Elf every year, you see Kyle Gass. He's one of the writers that works for Jimmy Kahn, right? Kyle says, I was really pushing for a covers project, and we started going crazy because we have so many ready. We went into the studio and just knocked them off. No exaggeration, 30 of them, but kind of short versions just to see how we liked them. But then he says, we had some trouble getting the rights to one or two, and then we got frustrated and said, the hell with it. We're just going to do our own thing. So maybe at some point we'll see this covers album from Tenacious D hit the market. But as of right now, nothing definite. But that'll be fun. I think that would be cool. They have done, maybe you've seen these, Tenacious D has released their cover of Chris Isaak's Wicked Game. And they also just did a cover of Britney Spears' Baby One More Time. Here's the thing about those guys. They're funny, right? It's comedy, but there's a lot of talent there. I mean, when you see them do a cover, it's good. I mean, there is talent there. And so I like Tenacious D, and I think it would be fun to hear an album of covers. They treat the songs with respect. Yes, they're funny. I mean, it's funny to see them do a Britney Spears song, but at the same time, they're respectful to the song, to Wicked Game especially. I mean, it's very well done. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Tenacious D. I want to go to the mailbag. I got 3 emails I'm going to share today. One is from Lauren, who's a regular supporter. We appreciate Lauren so much. And the email from Lauren says, hey, Jeremy, listening to the new BOC album, Ghost Stories now. Now, Ghost Stories is this album that just came out. It's a lot of unreleased stuff or stuff that had been recorded earlier. There's a few covers on it. So it's kind of an interesting mix of things from BOC. It says, listening to the new BOC album, Ghost Stories now. I never get excited about songs that didn't make the album the first time around. There is usually a reason the song didn't make the cut. Blue Oyster Cult should have quit while they were ahead. The Symbol Remains, released in 2020, is a great album, and I agree. But I am sad to say that will be the first BOC album that I won't be purchasing in CD form. Buck Dharma's guitar riffs jump out on occasion, but even those are sparse. I might like it if I give it a few more listens. But my first impression is 2 stars out of 5 talking about Ghost. This is talking about or Ghost Stories. Some of these songs sound nothing like BOC. The 2 covers on this album, Kick Out the Jams and We Gotta Get Out of This Place, are much better on BOC's epic live album from 1978, Some Enchanted Evening, which is a great live album. I don't think this band has ever put out a horrible album, but this is the closest they've come. Come on, guys, keep these songs to yourself. If your most hardcore fans don't even like these tunes, we have a problem. Let me know what you think, Lauren. Okay, Lauren, I'm going to go listen to this. To be honest, I haven't listened to it yet. So I will go listen. But then Lauren quickly sent back another email and says, oh, crap, there's another cover on this album, and it's horrible. If I Fell. This is bad, Jeremy. This is bad. Okay, so now I got to go check it out. I'm going to check out, I've talked about Blue Oyster Cult. I would say there's a handful of songs that I love. There's nothing I hate that I've heard so far, but I'm not a rabid BOC fan. I appreciate them. They're quirky. They're a quirky band. And maybe that's some of their charm, right? They're smart, right? Their songs are smart. I would almost call them, they're kind of an intellectual band. Can I say that? But they're quirky. I'm gonna give this a listen. Lauren, thank you for the update and for the recommendation. But I got to reserve judgment till I go and listen to this. I thought The Symbol Remains was a solid album. I did enjoy that album. Next email. This also from an individual named Jeremy. He says, "Hi, Jeremy. Did you know if you tap the album track artwork on your station, it rotates?" Well, it entertained me for 20 seconds. Messaged you on X. If it is up your street, please let me know. Yes, Jeremy sent me an IM on X about something else that actually looks pretty interesting. I haven't gotten back with you, Jeremy, on that, but I will. Don't panic. I won't hassle you again. Dude, never a hassle. Email as much as you like. What he's referring to is when you go to, I'm even going to show you here. When you go to the radio station, of course, you're listening. Those of you listening won't see what I'm showing, but those of you watching will see. But when you listen, when you go to the station, here, let me do this again. This is compelling radio we're talking about here. Hang on here. So when you go to the station on your phone, okay, there's the iconic Classic Guitar Rock logo. If you tap it, it rotates and shows the album that's playing right now. Well, it says, "Is This Love" by Whitesnake is playing, but then it shows a picture of Bachman Turner Overdrive or Blackfoot. So sometimes the album artwork doesn't keep up with the title or the audio, but that's what he's talking about. You tap it and yeah, it rotates around. So, I mean, that is riveting. Who wouldn't want to do that? You can do that. And as I mentioned, now that we've got the website back up, all you got to remember is classicguitarrock.com. You go right there and you can connect right to the radio station or the podcast. And you can kill at least 20 seconds tapping the logo between the album art and the Classic Guitar Rock logo. I mean, what's not to like about that? Okay, this next email is full disclosure. It's from my sister. My sister Tammy sent an email, which, Tammy, thank you very much. She says, "First of all, I have listened to all of your podcasts, not because I'm into rock and roll or classic guitars, but because you are funny and I love you and I'm proud of you. Thank you very much. I especially enjoy it when you share personal history because I recognize the characters in the stories. Our family, Laura, JR, Will, etc. Laura's my wife. You guys know JR. He's my co-host, and my friend Will, who's not allowed to speak on the podcast, he checks in regularly. So you guys know these people too. That's awesome. Mark, who is Tammy's husband, Mark and I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006 when we went to Pennsylvania to see Kirk and Dawn Marie, my brother and his wife. We really enjoyed it, though I think Mark, your favorite brother-in-law, had comments about who was in it and who was overlooked. I'm sure he did. He's a huge Beatles fan, by the way. I don't know enough about rock and roll to know the difference, but I enjoyed the experience. We still had a lot of kids at home and the money was still pretty tight. And I remember thinking the tickets were way overpriced for our budget. We also went to Akron, Ohio and toured Dr. Bob's house. Dr. Bob is one of the founders of AA and one of Mark's heroes. Mark just retired and he was an alcohol counselor. So he helped people with addiction. So yes, Dr. Bob was a key figure for him. That tour was free, and I think we liked it more than the Hall of Fame. Anyway, keep up the good work, and I will continue to learn about rock and roll. Love, Tammy. P.S. Mostly I listen to true crime podcasts, but need a break every now and then from murders and crime. And I binge your podcast. Great. You know, true crime, I think that's maybe the most popular podcast genre. I think I read that somewhere, that those are the most popular podcasts. But Tammy, thank you so much. Good to hear from you. And good to hear from all of you. You can always email me, classicguitarrock@mail.com. Now you can even go to the website, classicguitarrock.com, and you can email us straight from there as well. Guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. Please check out the radio station, check out the podcast, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Thanks for listening. You can email Jeremy at classicguitarrock@mail.com.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Tune in each weekday for the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update.